You gonna play that dastardly intro again?
Ow! This movie's still fine.
There's a Coley pasta.
One of them dies, that goes squirrel. One of them's a hottie, his name is Jay. One of them looks like Johnny Depp, and his name is Johnny Depp.
Classic Maximum Joseph.
You forget that films are supposed to have a point.
Hello and welcome along to the worst idea of all time, and it truly does feel like just that. My name is Guy Montgomery.
And Guy Montgomery is joined cross Tasman by his good mate Tim Bat, otherwise known as Timbo.
Self-appointed good mate, self-appointed nickname. You're breaking all sorts of friendship rules.
That's a really good point. I feel like other people have called me Timbo before, but I've really tried to get it into the popular vernacular.
You've championed it. I've been trying to get people on the tour I've been on, actually not so much this week, but in previous weeks, to call me Flash.
Flash, because you're so quick?
Yeah, I tried to get that in high school as well. I never really took.
You need to get struck by lightning. That's what you need to go and do. I'll start calling you Flash if you get struck by lightning.
No, absolutely not. I won't be able to respond, presumably. What happens to the body when you're struck by lightning? You die, right?
Nah, people live. Like, I think it's way less fatal than people think it is. I think some people have died, but predominantly people live. There's some dude apparently who's been struck by lightning like 7 times or something. He just keep getting fucked up by
If
Zeus.
I was him, I'd just stay, like go back to one of the places where it happened and just stay there. Because they say it doesn't strike in the same place twice, Tim.
They do say that. But surely there's something up with that dude, right? Like he's made something else. To get struck, I should probably research that before I go shooting my mouth off, but I remember reading it somewhere. I assume it's true.
He has a lot of metal in his pockets. He loves coins. He carries one coin from every country in his pockets.
He never put the two things together as well. He was just like, it's so weird. Like, I'm just a guy living out my life with my normal hobby of collecting coins and keeping them with me at all times.
Yeah,
and I keep getting struck by lightning.
And he always walks around with a little bit of water in his shoes. And his shoes aren't made of rubber. He's a very interesting man. We should get him. We should get him on.
I don't normally do this during the podcast, but I just started. I actually Googled it and I put "man struck by lightning" and it auto completed 7 times. A Wikipedia page has presented itself for a man called Roy Sullivan. He was born in 1912 and he died in 83.
What did he die of?
Died in Virginia. Well, firstly, according to this, he genuinely was struck by lightning on 7 separate occasions across like multiple decades. There's a section called statistics. The odds of being struck by lightning for a person over a period of 80 years have been roughly estimated to be 1 in 10,000. That seems pretty high.
Yeah, that's quite likely.
Yeah. So apparently the likelihood of this guy being struck 7 times by one metric is 1 in 10 to the power of 28.
I can't do that, maths. We need squirrel in here.
We do need squirrel. God damn it. That university-educated boy could really be helping us out right now.
Now, someone reached out to us and said that there's evidence that squirrel might have gone to Duke.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't.
That's
I forgot to watch for that this week.
So apparently there's a shot glass. I also forgot to look out for that. Yeah, there's a shot glass apparently. Hey, can I just say, right up top, thanks to our sponsor, Big Pipe, for they didn't bring you this episode. We did. I hate when people say that. It's brought to you by Tim and Guy. That's what it's brought to you by.
Unless they downloaded it using Big Pipe as a broadband provider, under which circumstance it has been brought to you, created by Tim and Guy and provided by Big Pipe.
I'm on Big Pipe, so it's getting put up on Big Pipe. So that's actually a good point, Guy. This is brought to you by Big Pipe then. Bigpipe.co.nz is their website. Very quick, very, very quick internet. They kind of specialize in fiber. And that's what I'm on. Oh boy, it's bloody quick. And they don't couple it with you having to get like phone lines or contracts or any of that kind of bullshit. They just give you the bit that you want and they keep it real cheap. And they keep it so cheap that you bring your own modem.
They keep you regular. They're a very fibrous provider, a great substitute for, if you're not getting enough fiber and if you've gone off Wheat Bix for whatever reason. Maybe you've gone off dairy and you don't like soya milk or almond milk, and so accordingly no one wants to have Wheat Bix just dry, so you've stopped eating Wheat Bix. Big Pipe, a great source of fiber, part of your 5+ a day.
Yeah, stop getting all glugged up. Get some bigpipe.co.nz in you.
You want to do an S-shaped poo.
What?
I saw years ago a poo doctor on Oprah, and all I remember, the only takeaway was you want your stools to be an S shape.
No.
Yeah, if you're
how would that even? They're always a stick. They're always like an L shape. If we're going to pick a letter.
An L, like a little L. I was
yeah.
worried for you. No, like apparently you wanted to come out like a snake, and if your diet's perfect, your stools will actually spell out the word stool in the toilet.
Wow, that's where it comes from, huh?
Fact.
You must be shitting a lot to be able to generate 5 letters from it. It's still got 5 letters? Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
That's good. I wasn't committed to that, as you could probably hear.
So, for those of you who don't know, Tim and I have just watched the Zac Efron vehicle directed by Maximum Joseph, We Are Your Friends, for the 7th time. And I was thinking about it while watching the movie, because this is sort of the first... this is the last year of doing this particular project. And I was thinking to myself as I watched it, and this might be a reflection on how I'm feeling, but... it's around the 7th watch when you really start to question just the whole nature of the thing. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. That we've now watched the movie as many times as Roy Sullivan's been struck by lightning, and you get to that point and you start to question what it's all for, what it's all about.
Roy wasn't wasting his life away doing this stuff. He was getting out there, putting coins in his pocket, water in his boots. The lightning hunter, they called him in Virginia.
They called him what?
The lightning hunter.
Ah. That's good. It'd be good if his name was Rod instead of Roy. That'd be a nice little wrinkle.
That would be a classy touch.
What did you make of the movie on the 7th watch, Guy?
I'll tell you who I had a lot of time for and was really impressed by this week, actually. I thought they really brought the noise. Ali, Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. You use his real name on this podcast, mate.
I was thinking about that while I was watching it. Johnny Depp is embroiled in a huge controversy right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's probably quite. He steps out of his controversy and into the world of We Are Your Friends once a week to just get away from it all. Do you think?
Well, our naming of him supersedes that event, and we don't need to drag it in and sully the good name of this podcast.
Yeah. God damn it, Johnny Depp! Why couldn't you just keep your nose clean? But he...
Hey, we don't know, all right?
We know.
Okay.
He turned in a really hot performance. I thought, what we haven't unpacked so far, Tim, or I think we might have, but we haven't done it properly, is just how shitty the launching point for them going and working for Paige is. Like, he does the speech. He goes, this guy, he's our age, he invented Instagram. He's a millionaire now. Like, if I was hanging out with my friends talking about what we wanted to do with our lives, and anyone was like, hey, so there's this guy who invented Instagram and he got really rich, I would tell that friend to shut the fuck up, go and focus, and come up with some real goddamn conversation starters. Because, of course, the person who came up with Instagram is a fucking millionaire. You don't need to feed me information I already have.
I think the point was that he was young, though, wasn't it? Or was it? I can't even remember.
That
came up. It didn't.
It's just ridiculous. It's like,
yeah.
It's like, hey guys, I know things aren't going great for us. If you need a bit of inspiration, get this. Someone made an app.
The most popular app probably in the world, and this is going to blow your fucking minds, guys. He's real rich now. We should do that. I love conversations like that. People who are just like, oh, someone invented this thing. We'll just do that. We'll just do that.
Or better yet, I thought of that.
I thought of that ages ago. I can't believe someone else is getting rich on it. That really bust my chaps. Because you may or may not remember this guy, but Johnny Depp says, as the kind of transitional ramp to get us into Paige's office. All he says is, "I've got an idea." But the idea was just him ringing Paige and going, "Yeah, okay.
We're going to come and work for you now."
Yeah, because Paige offered them a job in that diner when he buys them all. What are they eating? Is it lunch? He says brunch is on me, but I'm pretty sure it's nighttime. I think that's like a cool thing to say.
Yeah, you do think that. I just think it's bad writing. It's not cool to be like, yeah, I'll get you brunch at 2 a.m. It's weird.
Nah, I think it's cool. It's like every meal is brunch when you're cool enough. If you get to a certain level of success in the property game, every meal is brunch. Because brunch is the perfect meal du jour of like the 1%.
Yeah,
you know?
Forget about
it's
dinner.
Like,
brunch is the fanciest meal.
It is. It's like, it's not sustenance. You're just showing off that you can pay for extra food that you don't need. And it's not big food either. It's like a croissant and nice coffee.
You're paying $18 for eggs. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Nothing soothes a hangover like paying $18 for scrambled eggs.
There is something uniquely healing about spending money when you're hungover. It's weird, but it's true. Probably my worst hungover purchase was I got very hungover when I was about 20, because it would have been when I was living at a particular flat in Wellington, right on the end of Cuba Street. And I went to Michael Hill Jeweler and bought a watch, and unbeknownst to me, it was a woman's dress watch, but I just thought it looked real cool. And then I had to wear it for like at least a year to justify the purchase, because it cost me a couple $100. I've got very skinny wrists.
Oh God, that is funny. That is a disaster.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to say about Johnny Depp this week, or I don't know. So I enjoyed his acting in general. But so he he's trying to rally the troops, get the boys' tails up, and he's like, "Hey, if you're ever feeling down, just remember someone made Instagram," and all the boys are like, "You're right, someone did make Instagram. I used that app. I fucking love that photo sharing app." And then they all go off and get jobs. And then after Squirrel dies, because JD's been loading him up with fucking cheap-ass dingers. It's rat poison you're taking, Squirrel. Honestly, do the research. They're all sitting around the pool lamenting the fact that they killed their mate. And suddenly, and this is a whole other thing that I want to talk about this week, by the way, but Jarhead's like, "Nah, it's all going to happen. Cole, you're going to make that song, and Johnny Depp, you're going to become a big movie star, and you're going to bring celebs to the club, and Cole's going to be headlining the club," which is just such a bizarre aspiration to me, but I love it. I love the measure of success is whether or not there are celebs at the club. But
he's just involving everyone, first off. I like what he's doing. He's making a jigsaw, and he's making sure that each piece of the puzzle is included.
He's scrambling. Everyone can see it. It's not a good look. But the thing is, then Johnny Depp's like, it's not going to happen. Like, he gives up on life. He's like, "Nah, it's not going to happen. We just need to settle for this real estate gig. I'm not going to be an actor. We're not going to be millionaires." And I feel like all he needs to do to fucking get his motivation back up is research whoever made Snapchat, or like find out who Mark Zuckerberg is. Like, he's just one Silicon Valley success story away from suddenly being like, "Yeah, I am going to be an actor." He's so up and down.
Every pep talk of his is, "Hey, you guys, there's this app. It's called Twitter. Someone invented it. We're going to be all right." It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly.
Johnny Depp.
But
Johnny Depp.
Jarhead goes the wrong way about it. He doesn't. Jarhead's got he's got some sort of problem. He's got a social condition, undiagnosed. I don't know what it is. He might need a.
Why do you say that?
He's so volatile, and
he's passionate.
He needs a speech coach. Like, he slurs a lot in the daytime, and I don't think he's he might be, I don't know. But he's like, "Hey, where you going, man? What are you like? Where you gonna? Oh, come back!"
I love him. I genuinely think the guy playing him has either done a great job or is simply that dude.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. I was like, I don't think he is that dude. I reckon I reckon everyone turned up the acting to 11.
I don't reckon Johnny Depp did. I reckon Johnny Depp is playing himself in this.
Johnny Depp was my shining light this week. Best line in the movie. Hands down. They're on the way to
Wait. Can I try and guess what it is?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have that many lines, first off. But is it when they're in the car and they're on the way to Las Vegas and he's saying how much he's going to get for each tab of ecstasy or something like that, and he almost barrels the camera and goes, "I fucking love me a festival."
That is the exact line. It's not that
knew it.
he rattles off all the drugs. We got uppers, downers, whizzers, screamers, Roy Brissett. We got, and then he's like, he pretty much bails the camera. He looks just off, and he goes, "I fucking love music festivals," and I was just like, God, I believe that line. Fuck you.
I know, he really sells the shit out of that. That one, I have to give him top marks for. If he went into an audition and delivered that, he would land that sitcom that he's been trying to get.
Absolutely. You really...
It's weird that someone, is it him or is it someone else, is it Jarhead who says that he's going to land a sitcom? Because I don't feel like he's a sitcom kind of a dude.
No, he doesn't feel like a... He's got too much brooding intensity for a sitcom.
He's no Joey Tribbiani, I'll tell you that for free.
I think Jarhead says he's gonna land a sitcom.
Yeah, I think you're right, because that's when he's going through the bit you were talking about earlier. It's like, Cole's going to be headlining.
You're going to bring celebs to the club.
You're going to land that sitcom, bring all the celebs to the club.
Life is so simple for Jarhead. He just wants celebs in the club.
Yeah, man. And who doesn't, you know? Everyone wants some celebs in the club every now and then.
Do you get starstruck?
Do you know, generally I don't, because my mum imbued, this is like such a great gift from my mother. She imbued me from a very early age. Whenever big superstars were on TV or anything, she'd always be like, "They're just a person, Tim. They're just a person." It's like, it's true. And I feel like I've carried that for, because I've met some reasonably famous people. I met Slash once, shook his hand. Nice fella.
Did you say anything to him?
I said, "Would you like a coffee?" To which he replied, "Yes."
You were working at a cafe?
No, it was when I was working at the radio station and he came in for an interview.
Oh, and you were the meet and greet, or you were the producer? Yeah,
I was producing, so I was in there with him.
I worked as a meet and greet on on a TV since X TV show on TV3 and here in New Zealand called Sunrise.
Yeah.
When I moved,
it's your typical Good Morning USA style of morning show.
I got when I first moved to Auckland, that was my first job. I got hired, and I'd have to be at the studio at 5 a.m. and people would come in and I'd say, "Hey, how you going? Do you want a coffee or whatever?" I met a boxer called Shane Cameron who couldn't
he's a Kiwi.
Yeah,
he's not famous.
Nah, but I didn't have that same. My mum wasn't like they're just people. My mum was like, they are demigods. Be afraid of them. Always And so I met him, and this is I don't know where the story's going, but I shook his hand, and his hand couldn't close. Because boxers' hands are fake. He couldn't close the handshake. He couldn't wrap the fingers around the underside of the hand because
what?
Well, because he uses it for punching stuff, and it fucks with your hand, obviously.
Are you serious? Can boxers not shake hands? It's so sad.
They can
how do they make a deal?
They can put the hand in and lock the thumbs in, and that's kind of enough. You're shaking hands then. But anyway, within a week of getting the job on the Friday at the end of my first week, there was a big meeting. All the producers were there, and they were like, "Okay, so the show's been cancelled." And I was
why does everything we touch turn to dust, guy?
And
I've been made redundant from 3 radio jobs. You've had 2 TV shows you've worked on cancelled.
Yeah.
The most prominent of which they destroyed the entire channel. They just pulled it down.
And then so I was like, oh well, this is a shame. And then I remember a month later, the host, whose name I shall not say, I was walking through an alleyway at nighttime, and he was very drunk, leaning on a wall, and I was like, I kind of got to meet you for a week. I'll say hi. I was like, "Oh, hey man," and he was like, pretty belligerent. Everything was going great until you came along.
I'm pretty sure I know who that is, and that is an exceptional response to the circumstances. Find the fucking intern and put it on them.
Yeah, you're right.
Damn.
I was shaking hands all wrong. I was trying to get Shane Cameron to close his fingers around mine. He took a complaint to the office.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
The Mountain Warrior, we call him in New Zealand, Shane Cameron.
That is what we call him.
He's a bleeder, though. He opens up too quick. Bleeds everywhere. What I have been thinking about a little bit the last little while, not just through the watch, but it certainly helped, is Janky Rig and the Gyrating Twins. I want them to be like the act that originally opened for Intergalactic Glory Hole, but then got so popular in their own right that like 2 years later to the day, Intergalactic Glory Hole were opening for Janky Rig and the Gyrating Twins. That's how I feel their like stratospheric trajectory panning out for them.
I don't know. That what you'd have then is, Mr. Big and the whole gang, Tyrone Fishbone, all the boys eating a lot of humble pie to have the tables turn like that. I think they'd probably just tour on a different bill at that point. I don't think.
Nah, music industry, man, you gotta just take what you can get at the time, I reckon. Especially because Intergalactic Glory Hole is like 12 families resting on that act. They can't afford to be too prideful with the gigs that they book, Sometimes you just, a fella's got to do what a fella's got to do. Tyrone's got kids to feed.
I just think, there's a lot of egos in there. Ronald Keystone.
I love you. I was wondering, because I've got you on video scope, I was wondering why your eyes suddenly flicked to something. You've looked up the names. This is great. Give me.
Borry the bongo-hating mole rat. I mean, there's a lot of big personalities in that band.
Sure are. But Janky Rig and the Gyrating Twins, when I think about their kind of image and their visuals and stuff, it's a real Gem and the Holograms vibe to me. A lot of neon, a lot of sharp edges, a lot of big hair. It's a good gig. It's a cool group.
They play exclusively disco covers of Bob Marley and the Wailers.
Yeah. Obviously.
They
would have to... this touring duo of Janky Rig and the Gyrating Twins and Intergalactic Glory Hole is basically spending all the money that they do get paying the rights back to the songwriters of the songs they're covering. It's not a profit generating
And it's also...
model.
It's a weird match. Like, you've got disco Bob Marley and the Wailers, and then they come off, and then suddenly you get this... What is like 12, 13-piece... Intergalactic Glory Hole coming out and doing ska covers of the Kinks. You're like, this is all over the fucking map.
You're really paying for an experience when you head into that gig, eh? It's a real gear change between... The first one is kind of a tricky one to warm up into just unto itself. And then you shift gears into Bob Marley as you've never heard him before.
Hell of a double bill.
Yeah, really, really good concert. Can I share something with you?
Yeah.
James Reid
from the Feelers.
James Reid of the Feelers, and also in his later career, global renowned DJ apparently. He's a fucking fraud, man.
Why?
I'm pinning this basically all off of just a brief visual of when we first see him in the club, and he's just like twirling his jacket around while everyone's going ape shit, and then in a manner like you'd throw it away, like James Brown would do. He'd get all hot under the collar and whip his top off and throw it into the crowd, but he doesn't. He just sort of like helicopters it above his head and then gently puts it down and then swaps it with some assistant who's handing him a cardigan, and then he puts the cardigan on. And then we see him again and he's like got a record and he's holding it and he's just like fanning himself with it.
That's
because he's so hot.
No,
and they're real shit moves, man.
Nah, he's hyping. I thought you were going to say, like, I thought you thought he was a fraud because as he was doing that, the song changed, and you're like, you're just playing a playlist. But
I'm not going to get too drilled into the USB DJ nature of his work. That's, to each their own.
I found when Zaccoli is doing the walkthrough on how to work a party, how to get the dance floor pumping. At one point on the final song, when he's talking about the magic number, 128 beats per minute, he's like bringing up the song. I think I like it, and as he's mixing it up, the other channel, the music's already playing at full blast. So, what that would create is just a cataclysmic disaster because they're two completely different.
Wait a minute. What? Wait, hold on.
Well,
explain this to me again.
So, he's DJing and he's got the two main volumes. So you've got one of them, the song that's currently playing on the left-hand side is at full volume. And then on the the right hand side, the other channel.
Yeah.
That's the song he's mixing in.
Yeah.
And he's not really mixing it, he's just changing the song. But as he turns it up, he doesn't pull the other volume down.
Oh, I see.
And
So you're watching his hands while he's doing it.
There'd just be because I somehow used to book. I'd play with another friend called Tim, friend of the podcast, Tim Lambourne, who's gone on to become a very good DJ. But I would just make so many mistakes constantly, and one of my favorite mistakes to make would be forgetting to turn the first song down. So you're just playing two different songs at full blast.
Now, you could solve that problem by using the crossfade, right? Instead of the...
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like the monitor volume. But no. But that's not what you did, and that's not what Zaccoli did.
No, he made the same schoolboy error. Luckily for him, they just fixed that in post.
Yeah, fucking God bless those editors, eh? They could have really highlighted what a terrible DJ he is, but they didn't. They took a step back and they said, this is bigger than us. This man's got a Baywatch movie to make. I can't destroy his career before it comes out.
When he was on the press junket, he was saying he's not a very good DJ.
Was he saying he was a DJ, though?
No, well, obviously he learned.
That's not obvious, bro. You're throwing around that term pretty liberally.
It is obvious. You know, he's getting paid. It's just part of preparing for a role.
There's nothing in this movie that suggests to me
Look,
that Zaccoli actually learned how to...
I'll tell you how I know.
Wait, what does James Reed from The Villa say? Do you spin here regularly?
Yeah.
He didn't learn how to spin.
No, he did. I'll tell you how I know this.
It's his hands we're watching.
Robert De Niro drove a taxi in New York for like a few months before shooting Taxi Driver.
Yeah, and that's like a renowned movie, and he is a very lauded
This is
actor.
the Citizen Kane of our generation.
A madman said that.
Zac Efron and Robert De Niro were in a movie together. Zac was probably, in between takes going to Bobby, hey, Bob, how do you act so good? And he's like, you've got to live the role. And then Zac's like, I'm going to be a DJ in the next movie. He's like, well, you should go and drive a taxi driver in New York for a few months. So you're right. I think Zaccoli got confused.
Imagine that if that was his approach to every single role, and he just struck gold by accidentally getting cast as that once.
Robert De Niro never wanted to be an actor. All he wants to be is a taxi driver, but he keeps getting poached for movie roles.
You can't say no to that kind of money either. Good God.
That's like a few fares, at least.
Hey, did you see my last week's Shining Light? The guy in the hardcore snippet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did.
Did you see him?
I did.
So good.
The reason I thought the poll
good.
was orange is because he's wearing very loud orange shorts.
Yeah, he's in something that sort of it isn't, but it suggests a road worker vibe, like high vis construction at work. It's probably funny to me because I had mates in high school who were quite into hardcore, and they've kind of nailed it. Like that is the dance,
the pole dance.
Yeah, well, it's funny that he's got a pole, but that kind of move of like punching the air back and forward in a lever-like motion is very much part of the repertoire of hardcore moves. The other one's like just a good windmill. My mates
with
were
the
always
arms.
very into busting out a big windmill. Yeah. My friends were actually, I don't know if I've told you this guy, but my friends in high school were had a few of them who were quite good musicians, and they started a band called Poo Hate. Have I told you about Poo Hate?
I think you have told me about Poo Hate.
I might have told you on the podcast even, but they were a comedy death metal band because the origin of the name came when one of them was asking if a page, like what orientation it should be in. And he was like, he said landscape, he said no, portrait. And then Simon said, what Poo Hate? And then it sort of stuck. And they ended up forging a musical career out of it.
Would you call it a career?
In high school. It was a high school career of music.
Did they win a smoke-free rock quest?
I don't know if they entered, to be honest, but they put on some gigs like in the what do you call it, like the school hall, that were pretty great, and there was a lot of windmilling and shit going on. I want to get a track listing for you. Hold on.
You don't need to do that. Well, while you're doing that,
can't get it. Too hard.
Yeah, you'd have to be digging deep through your computer there, unless you keep one on file.
Oh my God, no, hold on. If you just Google it, it comes up. All their songs come up.
If you
That's
Google
amazing.
poo hate,
Yeah. It's got their 2010 album Download the Brownload, with tracks such as Sucked Off by a Goldfish, Drug Fucked and Pregnant, The Origins of Feces. Their debut album.
have they
Brown...
have they paid you to like sneak a plug into the podcast right now?
Nah.
Are
Nah,
you-
I always respected them and their work, you know.
Did you? Do you listen to the music?
Yeah. I think I actually snuck it onto the radio station I worked at once.
It's probably why you got fired.
I didn't get fired, mate. I quit. And that is an important distinction to make. I should probably bust out my shining light, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, wait, I wrote it down. Fuck yeah, I'm a genius. Johnny Depp asks, have you seen Cole when they're in the club? Oh, no, Johnny Depp is asked that question by Jarhead. It's like right at the start of the movie when he's DJing in the side room where Jarhead's managed to yell at that guy on the phone to get him the better spot, to get Zaccoli the better spot.
Yeah.
And so they're all like, this is the bit at the start where they're all getting their collective rocks off or respective rocks off. And so Jarhead opens up some cupboard and Johnny Depp's in there with like a naked woman on his lap pretty much.
It's a photo.
Getting into
Yeah,
it.
it's a photo booth.
And he says, have you seen Cole? And Johnny Depp says, instead of like being annoyed or trying to be real sharp with him or just trying to give him the shortest answer possible, which would be no, or no, get out of here, he says, can't say I have. And there's something very funny about picking like a too long answer in that situation that really tickled me. It is, I'll admit, one interpretation, a little bit disrespectful of the girl that he's hooking up with. But another reading is that super respectful to his friend. That no matter what he's up to, he will take the time to give a more generous and polite response than is absolutely necessary, no matter the circumstances. Have you seen Cole? Let me just move my head out of the way from this half-naked woman who's on my lap, who I'm currently got my tongue in her throat. Can't say I have, Jarhead. Can't say I have seen him.
Are you having a good night?
How are you doing?
And yeah, well, I mean,
It's friendship.
it's pretty confident to just start, disrobing and banging in a photo booth. Like, it's going to be, probably, getting a lot of foot traffic throughout the night at the club. B,
Yeah.
you're going to leave a trail of evidence.
Yep.
Like, for a lot of people, copulating is a private thing.
Not everyone, though. But actually, even Johnny Depp's done the decent thing and found a little quiet space somewhere.
Tucked away in a corner. I don't understand. Cole's done a bad job of alerting his friends that he's leaving. I know he's got a phone. He's bloody always recording stuff with it. Just fire off a text. Hey, boys, I'm going to some party with James Reed from the Feelers. And then start Snapchatting when he busts out an acoustic guitar and plays Fishing for Lisa at 3 a.m. Like, and also, cool your fucking shit, Jarhead, you social maniac. Your friends don't all have to hang out with you the whole night. He brings the same level of intensity to the music festival. It's like, I can't stand people like that. Everyone's going to go and, go to the music festival together. Sure, meet up occasionally, but let everyone have their own journey.
Here's my beef with the behaviour at the music festival, and I don't put this on Jarhead, I put this on Zaccoli. They've gone in there with tons of fucking drugs on them, and they're there to sell drugs. Like, that's kind of the inference. They're going to have a good time, they're going to enjoy the music, but they've gone to Las Vegas on a road trip to make a shit ton of cash, because they're going to a music festival to sell pills to little kids. And Zaccoli leaves his post, leaves his boys, and goes to chase tail. The others could be like arrested and thrown in jail, and that's the kind of situation where if the ship goes down, you want everyone to be on it.
They'd call up the best lawyer in Abu Dhabi, Miranda, and hand over their passports. I don't get the impression that they were going there expressly to sell drugs. I kind of thought that maybe they were going for the music.
Well, the fact that when they get in the gate, the movie takes a moment to stop
but
and X-ray all of them to show how much heat they're packing.
That's just to show off a cool visual style. It's like, and show how cool our boys are. It's like, hey, me, Maximum Joseph, the guy making this movie, I'm a cool dude. I put an X-ray shot in my movie. And also all the boys, all the characters in the movie I'm making, they're all cool dudes. They've got drugs in their pockets.
I feel like the boys have turned this business trip into a social call in the same way that Adam Sandler approaches movie making. It's like, there's work to be done, and this is a business transaction. There are financials that will take precedence, but we're going to have a fucking great time doing it.
Yeah. And yeah, once you wind up there, it's sort of the business side becomes secondary. It's like, well, something will happen anyway.
No, but that's my beef. Like, the stakes are so damn high with these boys. If they get caught with all damn drugs in the state of Nevada, they're probably all going to prison immediately for some time.
Yeah, they're taking acid to the music festival, and they don't really. Now, the more I think about it, they don't strike me as hallucinogenic boys.
Are they taking acid?
I think they're taking acid there, but that's
I
obviously
thought it was all uppers.
No, uppers,
Why
downers.
do you think they're on?
They say the word. They're not taking acid, and they're not on the drug acid.
They're bringing it in.
They're bringing acid in, and that's a tell that you're right, and they are there to peddle drugs.
Yeah, I just think it's a dick move. I get that you're young and you're in love, Zakuli, and I love that you're pursuing your passion, your desire, as the song says. But your boys are so good to each other that Johnny Depp doesn't even give a real is turgid the word? Short, sharp answer while he's hooking up with someone to Jarhead, who he doesn't even like that much. But they're boys. They're boys out there together doing drug selling as a clan. And if you're doing that, you need to stick together.
Yeah. Look, I feel like I stand by Zakoli on this one. He did the right thing. Well, he did the wrong thing by having sex with his friend's girlfriend. She also did the wrong thing by having sex with her boyfriend's friend.
See, this. I don't know if I got onto this last week, but this was what I was thinking last week. This movie would be so rad. Wow, rad. I don't know if that's the right word. Probably. If Sophie was hooking up with tons of dudes too. So, because James Reed, you see him pashing all these different girls in different situations. It kind of does a little cut to shot, and he's hooking up with someone in the club they're playing at. So he's cheating on Sophie tons. But I just thought it'd be a great evening of everything if she is also cheating on him constantly.
Yeah.
And then she hooks up with Zakuli, and it's like, I don't know. You can't get too mad about it.
It would certainly be more even-handed. I mean, they haven't really fleshed out the Sophie character heaps.
Do you like that I'm pronouncing Zakuli now? I don't know where that came from, but I think it might be here to stay.
Zakuli, I'm all for it.
Cool.
It's not. I don't know. Of course, it's not fun.
No, it's not. This one, holy smokes, this one was not fun. No serious.
I was getting really petty when I was watching the movie, like when Zakoli's doing the walkthrough for how to get the dance floor pumping, and he talks about the heartbeat, and he says, "I start off at 120, the heartbeat of a long distance runner," and then and they overlay it with footage of 4 people carrying batons and sprinting on a track. I'm like, that's not long distance running. That's a relay, and the biggest relay I know is 400 meters. That's not even middle distance. I mean, you can't sprint for 400 meters. It's a scientific fact, but that is not long distance running.
Do you know, I saw that this week, and I was like, because this is all being told from the perspective of Zakuli, that's what he thinks it is. So when we see him running and stuff, no wonder, when the camera's following him when his phone runs out of battery.
And he's running in overhead big headphones.
No one does that.
I tried that for the first time last week in Melbourne. I ran on a treadmill, and when I was doing it, I was like, I'll just wear these headphones because I wanted to listen to a podcast when I was running, which I don't usually do. I will never do that again. It is disgusting.
Because you've got really good big whole ear headphones, eh?
Yeah, and it's not a done thing.
Nah, it's annoying because the cable gets everywhere as well. A big thick cable in the way. It's no good. But anyway, I love the idea that because you see him get real puffed out, and he stops kind of dead on the street at one point because he's so puffed. And it's because he thinks that running is just going full tit and seeing how far you can last. You got to just pull it back a little bit, Z-Dog. God damn it.
Yeah, I think you're right there, because I was thinking throughout the movie, I'm like, God, he's running fast. Like every time he goes for a run, he's running so fast.
This is why he thinks that a long distance runner is performing a sprint. He's very mixed up in the head.
That's all right. Well, hey, out of curiosity, Tim, when's the last time you ran as fast as you can?
I couldn't recall. I've started trying to go for runs again recently, but I
That's a different thing, though. Like, when's the last time you were like, you know what I'm curious about? How quickly I can run, and you just was sprinting.
I genuinely don't. Like, the last memory I have of me doing that is, I've got a very vivid memory of doing it when I must have been 12 years old. And it was at a school camp kind of a thing.
16 years ago.
Yeah.
It's the last time you were moving at the fastest pace you can physically move at.
It's the last one I can remember, because there was a big slip and slide, like a huge one. I remember it being huge, but I was a bit smaller, so maybe it's perspective. And it went down a hill, like it was a real big, good one, down a hill. And someone went on it, and one of the metal pegs that was holding it in place snapped off on one person. Then another person went and cut themselves, cut their leg open. Yeah, sorry, it's yucky. It was real yucky at the time. And it was like a proper open gash, and I fucking gunned it to get back to the main campy bit to get a medical person to come in.
That story took a real turn. When you were like, the fastest I ran, and I was at camp and there was a slip and slide, I thought you were like, and I wanted to get a big run up so I could do the fastest and best slide. But nah, it's just a grisly medical problem.
Yeah, sorry about it. Anyway, look, we should wrap this up,
And
mate.
Talking about it, are you now curious about how fast? Do you want to go and see how far? Do you want to go try sprinting?
I would be interested, definitely. I reckon I'm so much slower than I used to be. I can feel my body aging these days. It's not good.
I was on Kevin Hart's Instagram last night. That guy's in great shape.
How old is he? He's like 36 or so? Or younger, 34-ish.
I think he was born in, his handle's like 79. Or, no, his Snapchat's Kevin Hart 79. I'm going to add him on Snapchat. Yeah. I find
we can't leave this Chekhov's gun just hanging on a coffee table.
I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up for you. I love it when celebrities can't get their own name as their handle or whatever. He's 36. He was born in 79.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always a goodie. Yeah, they've got to put some number after, but they're the real one. Because if you're a celebrity, you become the real version of the thing.
Like, I think John Mulaney did a tweet at Donald Trump about it ages ago.
Oh, that he had to grab the real
Donald Trump. Yeah, he doesn't have his own name. It's like,
that's good.
How can you be the president of a country if you don't even have your own fucking name as your handle on Twitter?
I get, because Obama's the first president on Twitter, so I guess you just inherit that POTUS one. Oh, do you know what? I downloaded an app yesterday, which apparently is the real words of the Pope, and he updates the message each day. How good is that? I'm not even very Catholic.
That is good.
I got christened, but I haven't really,
Did you? I got baptized.
Yeah. Is that now? Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong one. Maybe I got baptized. Whatever you get when you're a Catholic. This is so bad. My mum's going to be so ashamed of me when she hears.
Oh yeah, she listens, doesn't she?
On occasion, she has.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. This is going nowhere.
Absolutely. Let me mention to end on as well that there is a moment in this movie where Squirrel has a blonde fringe.
I really like Squirrel.
Me too. He's a level-headed boy.
When they're in the when he's getting just absolutely destroyed by Sarah in the car in his mum's station wagon, and she's just fucking the bejesus out of our young boy.
Yes.
Off mic, the only noises you hear him make is she says, "Where are those nuts, Squirrel? You're hiding those. It's not winter yet." All you hear him say is, "No."
That's good. And what a delightful note to end on. Thank you so much for listening, being with us on this journey, our final season, our final year, our final foray into this odd little project. Yeah. It's a pain in the ass, but you know what? We're going to do it anyway. I don't know if that's true, but we're going to do it anyway. Thank you very much to this episode's sponsor, Big Pipe, bigpipe.co.nz. If you live in New Zealand and you don't have enough fibre in your internet diet, make sure you go there and tell them that we sent you. And on that, Guy, I would like to bid you an adieu. We didn't mention this, but you're in Australia again. I'm in New Zealand. So hopefully next time I see you, we'll be in the flesh.
Yeah, that's absolutely what's going to be happening. And remember, everybody, don't bro me if you don't know me.
You gonna play that dastardly intro again?
Ow! This movie's still fine.
Zicoli, pasta.
One of them dies, that goes screw. One of them's a hottie, his name is Jay. One of them looks like Johnny Depp, and his name is Johnny Depp.
Classic Maximum Joseph.
You forget that films are supposed to have a point.